Good evening, fellow punters. The clock on the wall says 7:50 new time. Yes, we had to change it for the people in Newcastle West that like to have their clocks right. Now, right, Jamie? I said good evening. It's bright outside, you see. And when it used to be dark, I'd say good night. It's just the totally different mindset with a good stretch in the evenings. I love this time of the year. Might try and get it done a half an hour earlier anymore to be able to get something done outside, because I like gardening at this time of the year, flowers to be done and whatever, and there's two lawns that urgently needs cutting. Picked up the lawnmower today. It was in for a service, so ready for action. Won't be done tonight though. Still a bit nippy though. Made a few pounds today. Could have made more. I mentioned last night about Hillfinch, the step up in trip. What I meant to do last night and forgot was to put up to do a forecast. I narrowed the two of them races down to two horses, and both were first and second. One forecast paid 14.73 and the other one paid 11.63. What do you call it? She's up in court. She'll be up in the dock to have to give us an excuse shortly, or up on the back of the bus. If she had jumped the last one fluently, I think she might have held on, but her two heels went into the ground and she lost momentum, and she was fighting back. But a lot of twos there, and the similar with the other one, High Moon, done nothing wrong at all, bar the long run in suited us down to the ground, and we needed every yard of the trip to get there. If it was in Stratford or if it was in Fontwell or Plumpton, High Moon would have held on. We wouldn't have had enough momentum behind us. But grand winner went out to 11-2. But see, that's because it was an Irish horse probably, and they wouldn't know the form too well. But the heavy ground suited, and having won farther before suited. So a profitable day. On to tomorrow. We have a mixed bag for tomorrow. We have something for everyone in the audience, or everyone on the bus. We have two on the flat, two on the goo. We have one in the middle of the day and one at night. This one, people will remember this one winning the last day, because we were on the favourite, a gamble on favourite that ran terrible for us, and ran even worse since. It was Spirit of Inguru, or Inguru, I should say. But this horse has ran twice in Lingfield. Broke his maiden on the 25th of January 2022 by 5.5, skated in. And this was it the last day. It likes the surface. It only went up £2 for this win. And it beat a good yardstick rate at 90 in Baldomero.
Now been pushed along. Goby Sunset still out the back as they begin to turn their heads towards home. Baldomero sweeping around the outside now, puts it up to Wyvern, ridden along for more politics towards the inside. Then Noisy Night, Spirits of Inguru trapped away towards the inside, not really picking up. Then Lord Rapscallion, they run inside the final furlong. Wyvern's got the call now from Baldomero. Lord Rapscallion running up into third now. It's Wyvern from Baldomero on the run towards the line. It's Wyvern, and it's a treble for Callum Shepherd. Wyvern, the winner, beats Baldomero. Lord Rapscallion.
It's only gone up £2 for that win. It opened up 7-2 earlier on. It has won twice at the track. It's into 11-4 now. I don't know. I think it opened up at 5-2 with the other ones, but Stuart Williams going all right. That Swiss Ace won in Newcastle. It's and it used to be with Aidan O'Brien. But I don't think that has ran in Newcastle at all. Hasn't ran in Lingfield. No. And Newcastle is a sort of a softer surface. So that's one on the go tomorrow night. The other one on the go tomorrow night opened up at 2-1. Power of money for it. Where are we here? This is it here. Mount Athos.
Come off the rails and making a challenge in third. Mount Athos is lengthened away. Heading to the furlong pole, it's Mount Athos now in an advantage of 5 or 6 lengths. It's supposed to be a handicap, but Mount Athos is striding clear. Second is going to be close at the moment. It's Intervention. Top Secret is catching him. Mount Athos, though, is already at the winning post. Top Secret was second.
That was impressive. It was up £12 for that. It is up now to 96. But if it hasn't ran like for nearly 6 months, but Tate is, well, we'll see how's he doing in the last 14 days, I forget. Not too bad. 2 wins and 3 places out of 5 starters, 40%. James Doyle, right man up. I had it picked out at 2-1. I know it's going to be too short for some people, but you might be able to stick it in a double, or double the 2 of them perhaps, for the Goo lovers. Now, where are we off to? We're off to the first race at Navan tomorrow. Mogwli. What's it? I forget how to pronounce it. This ran the other day. But if we look back at last year, the race that it won last year was the first day of the Curragh, and it was on yielding ground. It up £7. This race then it was it's off favourite, but it was back a bit the field. But that was up to 75. It ran the last day at I'll show the race in a minute. It was 4th, but there's a £10 claimer going up the next day, and she's Jessica May. So she has rode it before, and it's the sort of a horse that doesn't need a fully fledged jockey to get the best out of it. So you can see back there, there was a £10 claimer on it before, Jack Cleary. And she rode it when it was behind Gordon Bennett. We were on Gordon Bennett that day. He won twice for us last year, or 3 times. And then she rode it in a Curragh race to 7th of 30. Well, we'll see. Where are they here? I must have deleted it. Anyway. It takes a while to get them and get them to the end. But She Is Believing was in that race as well the last day. But I thought this one with the £10 swing for the jockey, so 2nd. But we know that this runs fairly well after a 3-day layoff. And so it's an 8-1 shot there. And each way bet they're paying 5 places. Thing is, it's into 7-1 now. Got us 5s in a lot of places there. Then in Navan as well tomorrow, a small each way bet on Pale Moonlight. It's 8-1 there, 6 places and 5 places. But the ground is soft to heavy tomorrow. The only time this ran on soft to heavy was in Gordon last October 12 months, and it hosed up that day. It was desperate and lucky in Galway over 12 furlongs, losing by a nose. And then it stepped up and tripped to 1 3/4, 2 miles and 1.5 miles. But it's his first run of the season. But they keep it in training. Dr. Lamb, a 7 pound claimer on it. Only a couple of rides. But it liked the ground before. Now, the thing is with Weld this time of the year, some years he starts off on fire, and other years he's very slow on the traps. That's why I'd say only a small each way bet on that. But the fact that they're paying 5 places maybe is an incentive to stick it in maybe to each way multiples or whatever. There was only one I could get on the tomorrow over the jumps. It's a nice little race. Heavy ground, 2.5 miles. Couple of familiar names. You could sort of say they're buzz horses. We tipped up Castle Russian a couple of times. It looked like it was going to win a couple of times, but it fell and it ran disappointingly the last day. But Adrimel is the classiest of them. It's back to fences again. Or back to hurdles, I should say. My mind is mithered. But on heavy ground is the key to this horse. If you look back in 2 years ago, it won on heavy ground in December 2020 and 16th of January 2021. It was pulled up a couple of times, but it was good to soft. They were in grade 1s behind Vanillier, that was in Cheltenham, and an entry behind My Drogo. Went over fences with it then, and it won this time last year, 2.5 miles heavy ground in Haydock. Not so good after that, but the ground wasn't deep enough. I did tip it up the last day in November, but the caveat was that I prefer if it was 2.5 miles, and it wasn't just good enough that day. It was a decent race. Back over hurdles, or aborted that campaign over fences. Back over hurdles tomorrow. It was 9-2 earlier on. Now there is money for Castle Russian. The favourite is Donny Boy, but it's out of Westerner. And the Westerners, they like better ground. This is only ran once, I think, on heavy, and it was pulled up in Kelso in December. So if the ground is heavy, that'll be a minus for that. And Castle Russian, I just think that Adrimel has a better engine for that. So you can pick and choose what you want to do of those. Few newcomers on the bus. We have Evan from Patrick's Well. He was telling me that the dark horse don't do breakfast. That's where I was outside on Sunday morning expecting a great fry, and they don't do it. Brian Buddle, very cautious today. He took 6-4 about Shamaron. That's all right, because it's all about winning a few pounds. When you're winning, you're not losing. Rob Firkin, he's sick in bed. Get well soon. Skinner or Skinner D, one or the other. Newcomer has seen his name up yesterday. And the last one to get on the bus there a while ago was Scott Matheson from Ayr. A big miff was written on it there. I see a newcomer there yesterday put up selections, puds, punts. He has a couple up, but I'd prefer if he didn't put up one in every race. What we'd like to see is somebody, especially putting up tips at the start, is put up 2 or 3 at most, and the Shrewdies on the bus, they'll pick and choose, so they'll see what sort of a tipster you are, and it's great to see you had a couple of winners, and I didn't get a chance to see what you had today. But don't put up a heap of them, because if the first couple lose, then they're back the next one, and then you know it's a bit off-putting for the bus passengers. That's the sort of the system we have since we started. We're at it about a year, so I appreciate your help, though. Thanks very much. Now time for me to go. I want to walk the dogs. I didn't get much walking with them lately. Walked them yesterday evening. I was as stiff as the poker after it. So need to get out more. The legs are beginning to slip a little, so we can't have them slipping more. Bash the bookies, over and out.